What is going on, live streamers? My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be answering your questions about YouTube growth and live streaming as it pertains to YouTube. I've been on YouTube since 2014, and during that time, I've gained tons of experience with the platform itself, with live streaming, and all things related to just growing your YouTube channel as a content creator. So because of that, today I'm here to answer your questions about live streaming, about channel growth, about all the things that, that we want as content creators when it comes to, making our content, getting our content out there in front of a lot more people and all of that. So this entire stream, or most of it anyway, as long as we have questions coming in, is going to be based around the questions that you ask. So if you are watching this on the replay, I do encourage you to skip around the stream a little bit, because the information that's going to be shared during this stream today will help you with what it is that you are trying to do on YouTube as well. I also do want to let you know that if you are live streaming to YouTube specifically, in the description of this live stream right now, there is a link to a playlist that has a bunch of content on the Streamyard channel that is related just to live streaming on YouTube. Things that will help you get more views on your live streams, answering questions about what to do if you start live streaming and you don't have any viewers there, things like that. So I encourage you to check out that playlist. Even if you can't get through every live stream and video, not a big deal. I just encourage you to bookmark it so you can make sure that you can reference that. And if you are new to the Streamyard channel, here they talk about all things live streaming, not just about Streamyard itself, but they talk about all things live streaming. So if you want to learn more about live streaming in general to all platforms, then I encourage you to subscribe to the Streamyard YouTube channel here today. Now, in addition to that, if you do have a question, just to kind of let you know how this works, just in case this is your first time in a stream like this, how this works is all you have to do is put a Q in front of your question so that I know that your question is for me and it's not a conversation that you're having in the, with each other or something like that. And that just kind of helps me make sure that I stay focused on answering your questions instead of jumping into side conversations that you're having in the chat today. So with all of that out of the way, if you do have a question about, what it is that you're doing on YouTube, you can go ahead and just drop it into the chat right now. And typically I collect these in a form, but today I'm just going through and I'm just going to answer them directly out of the chat so that we can get your questions answered, and then we can move on to the next question, and we can kind of move through as many of these as possible. So if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in there now. And if no questions come in, then I'm just going to start talking about, how to grow your YouTube channel, how to grow your YouTube channel with live streaming and all of that. So while I'm waiting for the questions to pop up here, if you do have, hey, Dean Emmett in the house, what's up, bro? So while I'm waiting for those questions to pop up, if you do have any questions, definitely make sure that you go ahead and drop them in the chat right now. So starting off with the first one, and this is pretty serious, and it is from Creepypasta Channel, says, what do you use to shave your head? I actually use conditioner. So you probably thought I was going to say shaving cream, but this isn't related to YouTube or growing your YouTube channel. But you probably thought I was going to say shaving cream, but in reality, I actually use conditioner. So I put conditioner on there, I let it sit for just a little bit, and that gets the hair, a little bit thicker. And then when I shave it off, it actually makes it super, super smooth, which is fantastic. Thanks for getting us started there off of on a fun note. The next question that we have here is from the Canva Classroom. Canva Classroom says, do you think it's better to have a dedicated channel for live streams for your audience? I actually think it's better to stream on your main YouTube channel for the sake of, one, keeping the activity going there, and two, as long as you can make sure that you stay on point with and I'll go ahead and actually put yours up on screen here, but as long as you can, stay on point and stay within the subject matter and the value proposition that you have on your YouTube channel, then in that case, live streams on your own individual YouTube channel are perfectly fine. So there's a lot of myths going around about YouTube about, hey, if I live stream, then it's going to hurt the channel and things like that. But in reality, content is content. And as long as people are responding well to that content, then it's not going to do anything negative. The problem happens, or the people that report that sort of thing, they report that sort of thing because if you live stream on your YouTube channel and you go like way outside of what you normally do, let's say that you're just doing like a hangout. In some cases, even the hangouts do great, but let's say that you're doing a hangout and that's not really what your audience is typically coming to your YouTube channel for. Well, in that particular case, you're not giving them what they're expecting from you, and people will either unsubscribe or they'll just not participate in the live streams because it's not, the typical type of content that they expect from you. But even with that, if you're growing your channel mainly with video content, even if you have live streams, you can possibly have a small percentage of your viewers being live stream viewers. But as long as you're serving the people that are into the video content with that, and then you are serving the people in your live stream content with that, everybody's getting the value from you and your content that they want out of it, and everybody's winning across the board. You're winning, and the people that are interacting with your content are winning. Great question, actually, by the way, to get us started here. So next question is, how can I add music to my live stream? So when it comes to, and this is from Bravo and Sheila, ladies, let's chat. So when it comes to adding music to your live stream, of course, there's hardware solutions and there's software solutions. When it comes to the hardware solutions, one thing that you can use is something like I have here, which is a Rodecaster Pro. Within this, you can open up Spotify. This is what I do in my normal live streams. I open up Spotify, and within Spotify, I go to Creator Mix, because that's the free music that we have for content creators. You can find that at creatormix.com. But basically, I open that up there, and then I'll stream it through the computer, and then it will come through my Rodecaster device right here. So when it comes to getting music into the stream, that's just like a really fast and easy way to do it. When it comes to the software side of things, then it gets a little bit more complicated. If you're on a Mac, then in that case, there's software called Loopback. With Loopback, it allows you to route the audio through your system, and you can essentially tell Loopback to take the signal from Spotify, run it into this channel, and then that particular channel would also run into your stream. You would also have your microphone going into there, and so on. There's also additional things like the Go XLR, I think it is, where with the Go XLR, you can also, it's another hardware solution where you can have your audio coming directly through that as well for your music. And then you also have the more complicated route, which is you can use something like OBS, to where you have music playing in like a VLC playlist, and then within that you assign that particular playlist as an audio source, and then when you assign that as an audio source, you port it in. But if you're going to do it that way, I recommend that you actually use that as like a virtual camera that you port into Streamyard that way, so that you can make sure that everything is synced up right and all of that. So that's a really good question. So next thing, the next question that we have here on the list, hey, Video for Bosses, hope that you're doing fantastic. And, if you're just joining the stream today, this stream's a little bit different than what we normally do here. Normally, we come in and it's just like hard, training, but I've never actually done, at least that I can remember, an actual just raw Q&A here. Usually we just do that at the end of the streams, but I figured, if we're going to be coming on here and, having these conversations, let's just take one of these and just turn it into a Q&A so I can answer the specific questions that you have, instead of just throwing a bunch of information at you that you may or may not be interested in. So that's kind of the idea of what we're doing today. So let's see here. So as we keep on going, the next one on the list is why my super chats don't show up in StreamYard. They should. Mine show up in StreamYard, and this is from Elo the Black Picasso. When I get super chats during my normal live streams, they show up in StreamYard in the StreamYard chat. So yours should also be showing up in there as well. If they're not, then I recommend that you reach out to StreamYard support and see if they can help you troubleshoot that in some way, but it should just be automatically pulling them in. I know mine does. Is streaming on multiple platforms worth it? This one's from Blondie Gaming. It can be. So when it comes to, and this is from, again, Blondie Gaming, and when it comes to let me click off of this really quick. There we go. When it comes to live streaming on multiple platforms, the reason that it is worth it is because that does allow you to get in front of your audience in those other places as well. So for example, let's say that you're live streaming over to YouTube and you have viewers over here, but let's say you also have a Facebook page. Well, if you're live streaming, then why wouldn't you, live stream over to your Facebook page as well for your followers over there, so that they can also participate in your live stream? When I do my live stream on Saturday, I typically, on my main channel, I typically stream to YouTube as the primary, the one that I focus on the most, and then sometimes I'll stream also out to Twitter, and then I also stream over to Twitch, and every now and then I'll stream to my Facebook profile or Facebook page as well. So it just kind of depends on what it is that's going on in that stream and how much attention that I want to get that stream from those other platforms. But at the end of the day, when you do multicast like that, one thing it does give you that opportunity to do is connect with your followers on those other platforms as well, or the people that you're just trying to reach on those other platforms that happen to follow you into those other places. So it can absolutely be worth it. The only thing that's a little bit weird is just, when people are interacting with live streams, across the different platforms, they are, like different things are required. So for example, they like it on YouTube, they like it, they follow it on YouTube, they subscribe. So then in your actual video content, you got to be careful about the language that you're using and things like that, unless you just want to prioritize one platform, or unless you just want to say follow, because that would kind of, blanket the whole thing, so to speak. Yes, it's me, Tools, says, oops, wrong one there.
Next question.
So Blondie Gaming says, yes, it's me Tools says mic in shot or mic out of shot during live stream. This is a personal preference. So when it comes to having the mic in shot or the mic, out of the shot during your live streams, in my opinion, I think that, it comes down to that personal preference. I prefer everything to sound good over not having the microphone in the frame. So, I have a shotgun microphone for when I make video content. And that's right here. Let's see here. If I switch to this one, you can see it kind of out of the way right up here. And with that particular microphone, when I'm making video content, then I'll switch, to that. And then that will come to about, right here. But when I'm doing live streams, I want to make sure that the audio is just nice and crisp and clear. And plus, I'm streaming because I'm moving around a lot and all of that, and I'm talking a lot. So I'll typically have my air conditioner on as well. So through the microphone and through this, it also kind of suppresses that sound, where the shotgun mic, it'll actually pick all of that up. So it just kind of helps me be able to record in an environment that's a little bit more noisy, and it helps me get closer to the microphone, which then gives me a little bit more of that proximity effect, which then while we're live streaming makes it feel like I'm a little bit closer to you than if it was to be recorded, or if I were to be streaming with the shotgun microphone. But, really, I think in terms of like what it looks like, I think it really comes down to, just a personal preference on, if you want to prioritize the sound or if you want to prioritize what it looks like. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we've got, what time do you think is best for a weekly live stream? This is a great question. And the reason this is a great question is because when it comes to like a perfect time to live stream, how many people here? You're like, hey, you know what? I would love to live stream, or I would love to live stream more. I would love to connect with my viewers when they're on the platform more, but I just don't know when that is. If that's you, just say me. But when it comes to the best time to live stream, the best time to live stream is when your audience, or most of your audience, is online. So inside of YouTube, and if you go into your YouTube analytics and you go into your audience tab, then they're going to show you a grid, and that grid is going to show you the times that your viewers are mostly online. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to come in and stream when it's a low time or a dead time, so to speak, for your viewership. You want to make sure that you're streaming when your viewers are online, so that when they do come into when you do, broadcast it live, that there's more people on the platform at that moment in time for the videos to be recommended to. So if you live stream when you don't have a lot of your viewers online, then in that particular case, there's not as many people to recommend it to, and then your viewership's going to be lower. But if you live stream when you have a lot of people online, then in that case, you're going to be recommended to a lot more people. And as long as they click on your thumbnails and titles and they come into your stream, then you'll increase your viewership by making sure that you stream when they are online. Because how YouTube works is, one of the things that they try to do is they prioritize the people that are the most likely to interact with your content when you publish it. So because of that, when it comes to your live streams typically are great for the people that are already involved in your YouTube channel and getting them to come and participate in it. So because of that, you want to make sure that you do lean on that analytic or that graph that they show you, so you can make sure that you are streaming, at a time when your audience is actually on the platform. It's a really great question, though. TVR Creators is our next question here. Says, would it hurt a video if you post a short on the same day as a short on the short self, etc.? So here's the thing when it comes to publishing multiple pieces of content on top of each other. First off, if you have two long form videos that are competing, like let's say on a homepage, then in that case they can step on each other a little bit, because the system has to make the call on which piece of content would be the most ideal for that particular viewer that's online. However, when it comes to the short, that's going to the short shelf. It'll hit some recommendation features, but ultimately it'll end up on the short shelf, especially if you upload it through your mobile device, and your video content will be mainly getting the normal recommendation treatment that it normally does on the platform. So because of that, you can absolutely upload both. However, just to be on the safe side, if you want to make sure that, hey, I'm trying to just keep a solid cadence here, and I'm trying to bring people back on as many days as I possibly can to keep getting those return viewers, which is a very important thing to YouTube, then in that case, I'm going to publish, let's say, a video on Monday. I'm going to do a live stream on Tuesday. I'm going to do a short on Wednesday, a community post on Thursday. I'm going to do some stories, across the board, as all those things are going on, as long as you have the subscriber requirements. So then that way you're continually putting out content. You're continually, kind of touching, so to speak, the people that you're trying to reach with the content. And you're continually just putting out, more stuff that keeps more activity happening on the channel. Let's see here. How can I add music? We got that one already. Have you ordered the Rodecaster Pro 2 yet? And this is from Backyard Reactions, Movies, and TV Series Trailers. I have not. So the Rodecaster Pro that I have currently, this one here, this one, I'm cool with this one so far. I've had a little bit of issues with it, but I think it's more my cabling than it is the device itself. But with that, I'm fine with it. Like, I don't need the upgrade. But if one of these goes down or something like that, then in that case, I'll probably end up getting the Rodecaster Pro 2. I also live in Asia, and right now where I am, they're actually not available here yet either. Let's see here. On my last live stream, Bitchin' Boutique says, love your channel name, says, my last live stream went into the weeds and I nearly deleted it afterwards. How do you feel about taking it down, editing it, and putting it back up? Absolutely. Go for it. So here's the thing. When it comes to your live streams, and this is something that a lot of live streamers don't consider. When it comes to your live streams are, one second.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
So when it comes to your live streams are, content. And when it comes to, you spending an hour in front of the camera or 30 minutes in front of the camera or several hours in front of the camera, doing your thing, then in that particular case, you have a lot of footage that you can, repurpose to other platforms. So when you have a live stream, if it's appropriate to put it on Facebook, go for it. If it's appropriate to make short videos of it and put it on your YouTube channel, go for it. If it's appropriate to, cut out some of it in long form format or vertical format, and dump it up into, TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and all that, then go for it, right? Because you've created that content. Now you can do with it whatever it is that you want. So when it comes to, downloading your live stream or unlisting or, privating your live stream after it's complete and then downloading it and then cutting it up, tightening it up, making it a better piece of content for the replay, by all means, you can absolutely do that. And that's actually a normal thing to do. A lot of people that have live streams or that have podcasts that are, like an hour long and things like that, they will also cut up little clips for, either the same YouTube channel or for different YouTube channels, for the sake of making sure that they have some content out there, if they specialize in long form content, to make sure they have some content out there that's a little bit more consumable, so that that content can act as doorways to bring people in and get people familiar with the brand. And then from there, if they enjoy that content, then they can bridge over into the longer form content. So absolutely downloading them, and reusing them in different ways on your, main YouTube channel if you want to, and or other channels and other platforms. Absolutely. That's a win. Joe's phenomenal. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great, Joe. Says, I just finished buying all my live equipment, including an ATEM Mini Extreme. What do you think about streaming to YouTube directly from the ATEM versus outputting it to Streamyard instead? Thanks. So this is a great question. So I'm also on the Extreme over here. That's this one right here is the device that he was talking about that he got. So in my opinion, I prefer to port it through something first. And the reason for that is because then I have some additional controls for, adding graphics. And I know that I can set up a laptop or, an additional output, and I can green screen it and have some graphics that I can trigger from the ATEM and all that. However, those things can't be triggered through the Stream Deck. Technically, I guess, unless it was connected to the laptop, then I guess it could, but it's just a lot more complicated, and you just don't have all of the additional functionality that you have if you are streaming it through Streamyard as an example. So absolutely you can do that, but my personal preference is to port it through something first, so that if I want to overlay graphics on it just with like the press of a button, if I want to change graphics, share screens, that kind of stuff, it just gives a lot more flexibility compared to just running it straight through the machine. Let's see here. And you're going to love that, by the way, if you're not using it yet, because you said that you just finished buying it. So if you're not using it yet, you're going to love that, that Extreme. It's pretty awesome. I'm actually still in the process of trying to find, like other places to use some of these HDI ports. Cause right now I have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I have 2 that are currently not being used. And I'm trying to find something creative that I can do with those. Let's see here. What day and time do you think is best for a weekly? Yeah, we got that one already. Hi, boss. I'm watching here. Good morning. Okay, so next is Anna. Ana Zughiri, I hope I'm saying that correctly. If not, I apologize. Says, I have a channel with only 87 subscribers. I created playlists for videos and lives. I want to start streaming in Spanish. Should I start a new channel or playlist? Absolutely. If you are streaming in English or in another language on one YouTube channel, you do not want to start putting out content or live streams in another language on that same YouTube channel. The reason for that is because let's say that I clicked on your channel right now and I loved your content. I'm like, wow, this is great stuff. I love this. I want to watch every video they put out. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to be like a super fan. This is the best content I've ever seen. I resonate with it deeply. I'm going to come back and watch everything, right? And while I'm there, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to go and start binge watching some stuff right now. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to click on your channel name. I'm going to go to your YouTube channel, and then I'm either going to scroll down your page looking for content there, or I'm just going to go straight to your videos page. When I hit that page, if I click on a video and you speak a different language than the video that I just consumed, guess what's going to happen? All of that excitement that I just had, it's going to disappear because you made it difficult for me to find the content that I want to watch on your YouTube channel. So because of that, I really recommend that you make sure that you, without question, separate languages on YouTube channels, just because of the way the system works. If you have, your one language going up and another language going up, it's going to mess up recommendations. Like the whole thing gets messy if you have two languages on your YouTube channel. So definitely change them. Do I have Cartoon Network? I do not. I don't have cable, actually. I just use streaming services. Is a GoPro an ideal camera for streams? Ideal? I would say no. But is it something that you can use for live streams? Absolutely. This camera right here, this shot right here, this is a GoPro. As you can see, let me turn off the automation here. As you can see with this particular camera, it does the job. I'm live. You can see stuff, right? But it looks just a little bit weird compared to, some of the other shots that we hear, because you can't really control a GoPro as much as you can just like a webcam or a DSLR. Like with a webcam, they usually come with software to where you can really dial things in terms of color balance and ISO and all of that. With the GoPros, you just have don't go above this ISO or don't go below this ISO. Little things like that make it a little bit difficult to work with compared to webcams or DSLRs. But you can absolutely use them though. That's why in this particular case, I just use it as like a gear cam shot for, anytime people ask me questions about the gear, because it's okay, it does the job, but it's not really worthy just for that particular shot of going out and spending a bunch of money on like another nicer camera. So because of that, it's like, hey, this works. It's got, a lens on it. So let's, it's got a lens on it that takes HDMI. So let's plug this puppy in and, and get it and get it to work. Let's see here. I've seen a live from multiple streams. Is there a way to practice live streaming to a select few? There is actually. So there are, I know John Pullum is his name. He has a Facebook group where, in his particular Facebook group, the whole purpose of that group is where people can just test their live streams. They can just go live into the group, at any time, and they can just, live stream that way. Downside of that, he's putting himself at risk by having that group because, somebody could go in there ill-intentioned and they could stream something that, they shouldn't. So that type of thing is, a little bit, risky, but that particular group does it. But when it comes to a few people, if you have some people that you trust and you're wanting to stream and just get their feedback, then in that particular case, you can stream unlisted to YouTube and you can share your unlisted link to the people that are, that you're going to have participating in your stream. Another thing you can do as well is you can do something similar with Streamyard. Once you have your Streamyard stream set up, you can grab the link at the top and then you can actually share that with people, and then they would actually come in and join the stream, but you don't have to actually bring them on camera, if you don't want to. But in terms of streaming directly to, another, or streaming kind of publicly but not public, then in that case, you'd want to go and use YouTube and just make sure that you have it as unlisted when you stream. And then that gives you the ability to test all your equipment, test your audio, make sure all that stuff's good, test your compression, because YouTube always compresses the content as it's going out. So gives you a chance to kind of look and see how things look, after it's compressed and all of that. And it just lets you practice as well. So if you just want to stream and, just kind of get a little bit more used to it, then live streaming unlisted is a great way to get started, because then you still go through the normal process of setting up the stream within Streamyard and or YouTube. And then when you're streaming unlisted on YouTube, then you're going through the process just like you would be if you would be having a fully public stream as well. Great question. Let's see here. So next up, we've got, and this is from Mr. Fulton Mraz, says, how do I get monetization for my channel? So on YouTube, the requirements for monetization are 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. So you have to cross those milestones. So some things that you want to think about when it comes to generating subscribers, it's really important to make sure that you have a theme for your channel. It's really important to make sure that the value that you offer to your viewers is expressed through that theme that you offer on your YouTube channel, so that as somebody finds your content, they can more easily go and binge watch more of your videos because it's all in a particular theme, and that's going to help you get watch time faster. In addition to that, you also want to make sure that you make it easy for people to find more of your content so that the people that do enjoy it can more easily binge watch more of your content. So ways that you can do that on YouTube is you can make sure that you're using your in-screen elements that people can click on. Make sure that you're using your pinned comments. So on every video on YouTube, you have the option to pin a comment. So what you can do is you can write a comment and you can lead people into a playlist from that comment. So for example, hey, if you enjoyed this video, watch this one next. Or what, here's a playlist full of videos just like this on this topic or whatever. And then you put a link to that playlist, and then you have the 3-dot menu on the right-hand side where if you click into that, you can choose the option to pin comment. And when you pin that comment, then it's going to pin it to the very top of your comment section. So as people go into your comments to leave a comment, they're going to see that there. So then some of the people will actually go through that, and then they'll go and watch some of that other content as well. And you just made it easy for them to find more of your content. The same exact thing applies with making sure that you have your channel page set up properly so that the people that are into your content there. So once they hit your channel page, they can, go down your channel page and find the content that's the most relevant to them. And also make sure that you're using your descriptions as well. And you're putting relevant content that the viewer that's watching one piece of content would be likely to want to watch some of those other videos that you're recommending in your description as well. It's another really good question. Joe's Phenomenal says, I just finished buying. Oh, okay. We did that one already. Let's see here. Okay, so what are best practices for replay viewers? And this is from Yes, It's Me Tools. So this is a great question. So when it comes to replays, how many people here when you publish your videos or when you live stream, you do not make them available for replay? If you make them available for replay, say yes. If you do not, just say no. I'm just trying to get a little bit of a temperature here to see, how you guys are doing it. But when it comes to the replay, best practices for replays are this. One, any of the shout out stuff that you do in your live stream, make sure that you put that towards the beginning of your live stream. So as the stream's getting started, you put all that stuff at the front. And then what you want to do is as you are, welcoming people as they're coming in, you're kind of getting yourself in the zone, you're kind of getting ready and all that stuff for the stream. If you have an active stream, then in that case, what you want to do is you want to reset the room. When you reset the room, all you have to do there is you simply say, oh, if you're just joining the stream, pause for a second. Today we're talking about XYZ, or today I'm showing you XYZ, or today we're going to be doing XYZ, or whatever the thing is that you do, that you offer. And then what you just did there is through that space, if you're just joining the stream, pause. Today we're talking about, then what you just did is you created a cut point. So after your live stream is complete, all of those shout outs and all the, stuff that isn't really valuable for the replay viewer, all that stuff is at the beginning, and you can actually go into the YouTube editor and you can cut it off. Now, keep in mind, when you do cut that off, you're going to lose your chat, but on the replay, it doesn't even matter. So because of that, what you want to do is you just want to make sure that you have that little bit of a gap so you can go into the editor afterwards and then, cut that off. In addition to that, you also want to make sure that you're structuring your stream like a video so that it's a better experience on the replay. If you don't have an active stream and you don't want to go through the process of going in and cutting your stream up and all that, then in that particular case, what you want to do is you want to start your stream hot. And what I mean by that is just like I did in this stream. I came in, I'm like, hey, Streamyard, or hey, streamers, today we're talking about blah, blah, blah. And I just started the stream like that so that anybody that's coming in on the replay, the first thing they hear is this is exactly what it is that we're going to be doing in the stream so that they have more information to decide if they want to, continue watching the replay or not. In addition to that, you want to make sure on the replay, if you're trying to use your replay to grow your YouTube channel, you want to make sure that your end screens, once your stream is finished, that you go and you put end screens in your stream so that people have a clear next step after watching your stream to go and watch more of your content. You also want to make sure you do the pinned comment thing like I was talking about before, trying to get people into more of your content that way. So when it comes to the replay, just focus on those things. But the most important part though is the actual structure. I have a video here on the Streamyard channel. It's a more in-depth video and it goes into detail. I think I've got some graphs in there, some graphics that, kind of show you the detail of what I'm talking about here. But on that particular video, one of the things that I show is the structure of your stream and how to structure it so that, as people are coming in and, as they're coming in, you're introducing yourself to, the people that are coming into the stream and all that. Then once you hit that cut point, you can cut off that front, and then how to structure it, after that. I've got, a more detailed version of that here on the Streamyard channel. It's actually in the playlist that's in the description of the stream right now. Great question though on the best practices for replays. Baseball Demos says, Joey's Monster Movies. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Baseball Demos says, is it bad to do a recorded premiere instead of a live stream? No, not at all. All the different options that you have on YouTube, they're all there for different reasons. So when it comes to the live streams, that's a great way to where you can just directly interact with the people that are interacting with your content. You can answer their questions. You can, kind of get some banter going back and forth with, how you're communicating with them and how they're communicating back to you in the comment section. You can have that whole thing going on. In addition to that, when it comes to the premieres, one of the things with the premieres is you want to only premiere when it's something that's premiere worthy. Because if you're just premiering everything, then it kind of takes the power out of the premiere. So yeah, you still have a live chat attached to it, but it's still just not, it becomes hey, this isn't exciting. They premiere something all the time. But if you have a special reason to do a premiere on YouTube, then in that case, using that premiere feature is a cool thing to do. Is it bad? Okay, we did that one. Does having digital art, Drew, welcome to the stream. Drew says, does having multiple focuses hurt your channel? Do you really have to be that strict about a niche? Great question. So when it comes to niching down, the thing that I like to explain to people is what you want to think about when it comes to your niche. It's not necessarily that I can only make this one type of content. It's more about I'm making content for this type of a viewer that's into these types of things. So when you do that, then what happens is you can make different types of content for that same type of viewer, but you're just making sure that you're creating something that the people that are going to be interacting with your channel on a regular basis are going to enjoy, regardless of what it is that you're putting out. So for example, on my channel, I teach people about YouTube, right? All the different stuff about YouTube, how to grow your channel, all the different tools and resources you need, all the stuff. Now, within that, because I'm reaching YouTube content creators, and within that, if I wanted to, I could do skits on my channel. But if I did skits on my channel, I wouldn't just do random skits about, pop culture or anything like that. I would do skits that would be directly related to things that YouTube content creators would relate to. So maybe my skit would be something about trying to deal with YouTube customer service. Or maybe my skit would be, trying to deal with a fake copyright claim. Or maybe my skit would be, something about, trying to come up with video ideas or, something like that content creators can relate to. And even though that's outside of teaching people about YouTube, it's still a fun piece of content that my core audience or my target audience could still enjoy. So that's the idea when it comes to niching down. And the problem that happens when you have multiple focuses on one channel is a lot of people like to say hey, I have all these different things that I'm interested in. And, because of that, I can't really find one thing that I just want to make content about. As humans, we're all that way. Every single one of us, we've got a bunch of different things that we're interested in. So, because of that, when it comes to our YouTube channel specifically, we have to think through the lens of, if you want to, grow faster, you got to think through the lens of, okay, I'm making this content and I'm putting it on the internet because I also want other people to enjoy it. I like making it, but I also want other people to enjoy it. So because of that, I need to make sure that I'm making a content resource for a certain type of viewer. So when they do come into my channel, they're more likely to binge watch my content and keep coming back for all the different videos that I publish and things like that, so that you can perform better on the platform. Here's where everything kind of breaks when you don't do that. Let's say that you have one piece of content that you put out. Andrew Cam, what's up, man? Let's say you put out one piece of content about about iPhones, right? And people are like, hey, this is great. Love this video, about iPhones, this, that, and the other thing. Wow, this is great. I love this. Love the way he talks about iPhones. You could tell he's really passionate or knowledgeable about the iPhone. So therefore I want to subscribe to this channel. Next video that you publish is about, you taking a vacation to Disney World. Well, what happens is the people subscribe to your channel from this video about the iPhone, like they want iPhone stuff from you. They don't care about your trip to Disney World. So because of that, when that trip to Disney World gets shown to them on their homepage, if YouTube thinks that they might like it because they just recently interacted with your channel and subscribed and commented, liked and all that stuff because they really loved your iPhone content, YouTube tests your Disney content against them and they don't click on it because they don't care, right? They don't care about your trip to Disney World, and therefore that ends up hurting the click-through rate of your videos. But let's say they see your face in it and they're like, oh yeah, I remember this. I just subscribed to this channel. Let's go see what this is about. Then they click on it anyway, and then they land in your video, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't about anything that I'm even interested in. So I'm going to leave this video in a hurry. And then they leave that video in a hurry and it ends up hurting your audience retention as well. Now, the way that this can also work against you in a more extreme way is, let's say that you publish that iPhone video that I was talking about. Well, let's say you publish the Disney videos like, hey, I just want to put out this piece of content, just even though we don't do this stuff all the time, I just want to put it out just to have it out on the internet. And you put it out, let's say that your intention is to have a YouTube channel where you primarily talk about, iPhone related stuff. Well, the way YouTube works, because you never know when you're going to put out a piece of content that the audience is just going to, go crazy for. So let's say you put out a piece of content, they start showing it to some people that are interested in Disney, and those people start responding to it. Let's say they respond at a very high rate. They're clicking on it at a high rate. They're watching it all the way to the end. Then what's going to happen is that video is going to blow up. And when that video blows up, then you're going to start growing your YouTube channel around people that care about Disney World when you only took that one vacation to Disney World that one time, instead of growing a very solid channel around people that are interested in the iPhone stuff. And another place that this really comes into play is the future. Like if you're just getting started, as an example, and you're not working with sponsors yet, once you get to that point to where, you want to start working with sponsors, when you have a themed channel, you become extremely valuable to sponsors compared to when you do not. And the reason for that is because a themed channel, it's crystal clear. If a company that is looking for influencers to work with, if they land on your YouTube channel and they see, hey, this is a channel about iPhones. We have an iPhone app, or we have these iPhone accessories. This channel is a perfect fit for what it is that we're doing. The people that they're reaching is all people that are iPhone enthusiasts. So we couldn't find a better channel than this channel and others like it. So because of that, we want to, sponsor this content. We want to work with this content creator to have long-term contracts and all that good stuff. When you go the other way, then what happens is, hey, they come and they look at your channel. Oh, they have like, a handful of iPhone videos. They've got Disney videos. They got stuff of them working on their car. They've got, some music videos. They've got, all this other stuff on there. And there's no real clarity. There's no real theme. It's okay. We'll go find somebody else to work with, right? So when it comes to having a theme channel, it really makes a big difference in a bunch of different ways. So overall performance on YouTube, and then of course, long-term opportunities that you get from having a themed channel. Fantastic question. Is there an ideal distance? This is from Anna Zuggery, says, is there an ideal distance to set your camera from your face? This is a good one. I've never had anybody ask that before. So it's not an ideal distance. It just comes from, how it is that you want things to look, and then comfortable crop areas. So when it comes to, like where you crop on a human, there's specific areas that just feel comfortable when you crop in those particular areas. So you want to make sure that when you are, putting the camera on yourself, that you are cropped in those areas, that you're positioned in comfortable places in the frame, that sort of thing, so that it just feels more comfortable. But it also comes with what it is that you want to show and all that. So for example, this shot here, I was, close up right here. Like here, I'm close up, so you can get this like close up, crop shot. Here, it's a little bit further back. Here, we give you a wide shot to where, I'm still in the middle, but then it gives you a little bit of, a little bit of show of, some of the stuff that I, am using to stream and that sort of thing. But when it comes to like how far it is, it's going to come down to what you want things to look like, how to crop it in a comfortable way, so that it feels okay when people come into the video. And then it's also going to come down to your camera and your lens, and and how you plan to use the configuration of the camera and lens that you have. So for example, the close-up shot that I have here, the lens that's on this is a 35 millimeter, and on that particular camera, it's a little bit of a distance here. Like I couldn't I can't reach that one. However, this one, I can reach out and touch this one, right? So, and this one has a 16 millimeter lens on it. So it just really comes down to, your setup and how you want to make things look. Let's see here, multiple focuses. I don't really know what StreamYard is. Is this so you can go live on multiple platforms? Says Mommy Vision. Yeah. So what StreamYard is StreamYard is a live streaming tool. So StreamYard lets you go live on multiple platforms at the same time. They make it really easy to bring in guests. All you have to do is just grab an invite. You click the invite button, grab the share link, and then you send it to your guests, and then they can come right into your stream. It's awesome. They also have it where you can add graphics to your stream as well. So for example, let me see what they have available because I'm inside of the StreamYard one right now. Here, I'll just go into mine, the one that I have for my stream on Saturdays. So like here, for example, on mine, I can click on this and then it pulls this little frame around that shows like when I'm live on my channel. I've got, things like this that lets people know there's links in the description. I've got a little shout out for my podcast, like all these types of things where it just lets people, know the things that I'm trying to bring attention to, at that point in time. So when it comes to StreamYard, it doesn't just let you multicast. It lets you do a bunch of, like really awesome stuff. You can also share your screen. You can, set up extra cameras. So like even if you have USB cameras, you can run a 2-camera setup using StreamYard, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. So I live in Poland and the time difference makes it not as easy. Yeah, Monique. So I hear you. I'm the same way. I live in Thailand. So basically when I'm in, like when I go live, like right now, it's noon. It's like 12:40 on the East Coast in the States, but it's 11:40 p.m. where I am. So because of that, as a content creator, if I want to go live and I want to get in front of my audience and the audience that I'm trying to reach, I got to make sure that I'm going live when they're awake. So because of that, I adjust my schedule around making sure that when I do go live, that I'm awake and I'm, as sharp as I could be, right? Like I don't always nail it, but I just try to make sure that I'm, at least awake and have enough energy to, to have everything going. But I, adjust my schedule for that. So I stay up late and I sleep in for the sake of, being able to do that. Let's see here. Again, if you are just joining this, if you do have a question, make sure you drop it in the stream. Make sure you put a Q in front of your question so I know that question is for me instead of a side conversation in the chat here. So the next question that we have here is, how do I dispute a copyright claim? So when you get that claim, there should be an option right next to it to dispute it. And then it's kind of like a wizard that you go through inside of YouTube in order to do it. Colors of Hope Crafts ASMR. Hope you're doing great. Welcome to the stream today. Noctilon, hope you're doing awesome. What are your thoughts about the StreamYard logo? I think it's cool. I like the duck. I think it's clever, right? Because it gives you, I think it's clever when companies use, like any company, when they use like animals and things like that, because then when you see those things out in the world, when you're not like using it, then it can make you think of those things, which I think is pretty cool. That's just a branding thing in any capacity. We used to have a thing that we did on my live streams where we'd eat M&Ms all the time. And as part of that, people, would always talk about M&Ms in the live streams. If we didn't have them, people were like, hey, where are your M&Ms? In addition to that, when we would go to events, people would bring us bags and boxes full of M&Ms, things like that. So when you, incorporate things like that into your branding, it can be powerful as well. So like when people are out in the world, they see M&Ms at that moment in time when we were, doing that a lot. Some people, when they would see those M&Ms, they would think about us when they would see those because it was a thing that we did. Let's see here. Invisible America, welcome to the stream, saying awesome treat today. So we've got, let's see here, Shy Jazzy says, hello, I have a gaming channel with about 70 subscribers. I do mostly game reviews and no commentary gameplays. How can I make my no commentary videos more engaging? So when you're not using commentary, everything's going to come down to your visuals there. So I really, when possible, I would just try to add commentary to as much of the stuff as you possibly can, because when you do that, it gives people something to connect to, something to listen to, in addition to whatever it is that you have going on in the actual stream itself. So because of that, of course, you can put words on the screen and that sort of thing if you wanted to, but it'd probably be faster for you if you just did commentary for those particular parts. But that's definitely a challenge. Definitely a challenge. Colors of Hopes Crafts ASMR says, do you think giveaways are good ways of growing a community? I just passed 400 subscribers. I also just got accepted into 2 affiliate programs. High five and fist bump to you. Nice work. So when it comes to giveaways as a means to grow the YouTube channel, I'm not a fan of that. When it comes to giveaways, my personal beliefs on that are, if you're doing a giveaway, you should be like doing the giveaway for the sake of giving, not for the sake of receiving, so to speak. So when you're doing a giveaway for the sake of growing the channel, it's kind of like ill-intentioned, in my opinion. It's like, hey, the only reason I'm doing this giveaway is because I want people to come in and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So it just kind of makes it, kind of like, yeah, you're giving something away, but there's kind of like, like an intention behind it. You can grow YouTube channels on giveaways, but it's typically a really hollow audience. And what I mean by that is people will come in and they'll subscribe to the channel because they're like, hey, I hope I win this thing or whatever. And then when they don't win it, then they unsubscribe or they just don't click on your videos or whatever because they don't care, because they didn't subscribe because they enjoy your content. They subscribe because you are giving away a thing. In addition to that, YouTube also looks poorly on incentivization when it comes to YouTube. So for example, if you are doing a giveaway, they have certain rules you have to follow. One of those things is you're not allowed to tell people that in order to win this thing, you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel, because they look at that like you're incentivized, like you're bribing people essentially to subscribe to your YouTube channel. So when you are doing giveaways, again, you can, and it can inflate your numbers a little bit, but it typically ends up being a hollow audience. In fact, I know somebody that grew their channel to 35,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. And this was probably 5 years ago now. They grew their channel to 35,000 subscribers doing a giveaway for the following, all the way up until now. Not all the way until now, but I would say for like the next 2 years after that giveaway, they were losing subscribers every day. Like they were in the negative, and they were just trying to dig out of that hole, going into the negative because people were just unsubscribing at such a massive rate. And then now we're like many years later, I guess 5 years later now. And now the channel is down to around 30,000 subscribers, and they just can't get the channel to move. So, when it comes to giveaways, it's just a really, fine line that you have to walk, because, people are coming for the thing, not necessarily you. But if you change it and you do what I was talking about before in terms of you're doing the giveaway for the sake of giving, is like a, appreciative thing, or like a thanks for, being a part of this type of thing, then in that case, it's a little bit different, because then you're giving that thing away to people who are already involved in your content, people who are already liking what it is that you're doing, people who are already participating. So in that particular case, you're at the very least giving that thing or that gift card or whatever it is that you're giving away, you're giving that to people that are at the very least watching and interacting with your content, which ultimately helps you too. So that's my thoughts on that. So here, Nix, can you fish? Excuse me. Let's see here how we got here. Okay, so how we got here, genealogy. Hey, what's going on? Nice to see you in here. It says, besides chat, what are the best ways to make streams more interactive? Asking people questions that they can answer in the chat. So for example, well, you say besides chat. So I guess technically you could also, try to get people to interact on Twitter. One thing that we used to do when my brother and I were doing the streams together is we would have it to where we would also bring people on screen that would tweet things out. So if somebody would like share us out on Twitter, that sort of thing, then we'd pull them up on screen. We'd be like, hey, thanks for sharing us out on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And it created more people sharing the content out because they wanted just that, they wanted their stuff shown on screen. So that particular situation definitely caused more, interactivity. In addition to that, you also have like in my live streams, because you hang out in those too. But in the live streams I do on my channel, I have people go and I fill out a form. So you can definitely use that as a way to just kind of get information, from the people that are interacting with your content. So you can make sure that, you're kind of serving them in the way that they need, in addition to the ideas that you have. So collecting that type of information, I guess, is kind of a little bit interactive, but really more than anything though would be the, sending people to like Twitter, for example. And of course, trying to get people to engage in other ways, liking the stream and stuff like that. Let's see here. Nick, can you fix the fisheye effect on that GoPro? Just set it to linear mode and that should clear it up. I actually prefer the fisheye for this particular view. And the reason for that is because it gives gives kind of like a whole shot of everything that's going on in here. And if you look, I'm actually, positioned over here, the way that everything's set up, it's actually set up, with that fisheye, look in there on purpose. Let's see here. Any other creepy projects that you're currently working on the Creepypasta channel? Okay, that was a side conversation. Looking for a mentor, aka professional YouTube creator, to discuss my channel and brainstorm better results. So I know right now, because I'm not taking on clients at the moment, but I know right now Daniel Batal, who also streams here on the Streamyard channel on a regular basis, he is doing that. If you just go to danielbatal.com, I think I've got links to him in the video descriptions of the live streams on my channel. But if you just go to danielbatal.com, he should be able to get you started. If you just look for his streams here, you'll also see like links to his YouTube channel and stuff like that. How to gain subscribers. And this one's from Sai Rangoli Art. So when it comes to getting subscribers on YouTube, it's more than like, hey, I'm just going to upload videos and cross my fingers. You have to make sure that you have a clear value proposition from your channel. You have to make sure that you are adding a very specific type of value to your channel. Everybody interprets value in different ways, but you have to make sure that with every piece of content that you're putting out, that you're thinking to yourself, what is the viewer getting out of this, right? Like what value are they getting from this piece of content that I'm putting out? And if you can't define that, then you can't expect somebody else to actually receive that value if you can't even identify it yourself. So if you can just get clear about the value that you're offering, make it extremely obvious, the value that you're offering. So for example, you want to put, like a little value proposition or a little tagline in your channel art so that people know exactly what it is that they're getting from you. In some cases, you might even want to mention it in your videos as well, so that people are just crystal clear. This is what it is that I get on this particular YouTube channel, so they can make that informed decision on if they want to subscribe to the channel or not. But at the end of the day, make great content, right? My brother D and I, we were actually joking about this because that's an easy answer to say, right? Like just make great content. But when it comes to, growing on YouTube and people subscribing to your channel and all that, you got to have good content in order for it to happen, right? Like it doesn't have to be the best looking content. It doesn't have to be the best sounding content, but people have to respond to that content in a positive way. And if they do that, YouTube's going to show it to more people. And as they show it to more people, as things scale out, then just by the numbers alone, you're going to start generating more subscribers on your YouTube channel. Of course, you can fine tune that, of course, by making sure that you are adding calls to action to your video. When you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're doing it in a non-interruptive way, or that you just do it really quick. The non-interruptive way is to first make sure that you are getting people, pretty far in your videos. So you don't want to like interrupt their experience just trying to get them to subscribe. You want to make sure that you're prioritizing their experience with the video content and making sure they enjoy as much of your content as possible. But if you have any lulls in your content, like let's say you're waiting for something to load, let's say you're changing screens, let's say you're showing people how to, work in Canva, like the Canva Classroom, for example, then in that case, what you can do is like, while you're doing something within that, if you have, just a small moment where you're not talking, you can say, oh, hey, by the way, like in her case, you can say, oh, hey, by the way, I make Canva tutorials I'm not sure what her upload schedule is, but hey, by the way, I make Canva tutorials every Tuesday. So if you're a Canva user, I've an entire channel that's going to help you, get better at Canva. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. And then she can say, okay, but anyway, and then she can keep showing whatever it is that she's showing. So she just drops it in there in like a smooth, non-interruptive way. And that's just that little nudge to remind people to subscribe. Because here's the thing. If you make good content, people are watching your content and they're enjoying your content. They're not thinking about subscribing, right? They're like content creators, YouTubers, we're thinking like, hey, subscribe, how many subscribers, how many views, like we're thinking of that stuff. But like civilians, like non-content creators, like they're just there to enjoy the content, right? They're not thinking about that. So when you give those little nudges, it can be helpful in terms of increasing your conversion on the amount of people that are subscribing to your channel. If you want to go even less intrusive, you can also just use a little graphic that pops up on the screen. And that little graphic is another way that just, easily reminds people to subscribe to your YouTube channel. So for example, like here in this stream, like I have this, if you look up in the top, corner of the screen right here, it's just like a little thing, right? Just a little, nudge right there, right? So you can just add little calls to action like that, just to like nudge, your viewers when you want to. How to keep from losing subscribers so quickly? This is a great question, Lou. So this is from Lou Optics. And so when it comes to losing subscribers on YouTube, the very first thing that I want to let you know is it's normal to lose subscribers on YouTube. Right now, my YouTube channel, I have 840,000 subscribers on it, and I've lost over 350,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel since 2014. So the like losing subscribers is a normal thing on YouTube. People unsubscribe for a bunch of different reasons. They unsubscribe because either one, they just like don't interact on YouTube anymore. Two, you have changed something within your content to where they just don't resonate as much anymore. Three, they are human and their interests evolve over time. And just for whatever reason, they're just not as interested in what it is that you're making anymore. And therefore they unsubscribe to your channel. And then there's also, depending on the type of content you make, where people don't necessarily need the content anymore. So for example, let's say that you are, showing people how to set up ATEM Mini Extremes. Well, in that case, that's great for a new ATEM Mini Extreme user, but once they get it all figured out and all of that, then there's no real reason for them to stay subscribed to your channel unless you're constantly giving updates and you're constantly teaching them new things that they can do with the ATEM Mini. So when it comes to, not losing subscribers, instead of thinking like, how do I keep from losing them so quickly, start thinking like, okay, how can I start really prioritizing my content towards them to help keep them more involved in what it is that I'm doing? So a way that you do that is, one, the videos that are currently driving your YouTube channel. If you go into your YouTube analytics, YouTube's going to show you the top videos that are bringing in the most traffic over whatever date range you select. So if you look over the last 28 or 90 days, it's going to show you all of the videos that are bringing in the most viewership, not subscribers, but the most viewers. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is you want to make sure that you are focused on making sure that every video that you publish is a good fit topically for the people that are currently interacting in the channel. And the reason for this is because the way YouTube works is, even if somebody's not subscribed to your YouTube channel, if they come and they watch, let's say, one video all the way to the end, and let's say they like it and they leave a comment, or let's say they watch one video all the way to the end and then they end up watching another one of your videos, maybe even another one after that, but they don't subscribe, then what's going to happen is YouTube's going to identify that they are satisfied with your content because they're watching, multiple videos back to back. And that is a fantastic signal to YouTube. And what happens is YouTube will start following that person around YouTube with your content because they've proven that they enjoy it. So then YouTube will start recommending you some of your new videos to them. They'll start recommending content from your archive because they want that viewer to enjoy content from your channel because they've already proven to YouTube that they like it. So when it comes to people subscribing, of course, we all want subscribers because, it looks good from the outside, plus it unlocks YouTube features. However, at the end of the day, it's more important when it comes to just overall growth on your channel, getting more views, more ad revenue, things like that. The most important thing is getting people to enjoy your content, or getting people to the end of your videos, clicking on your end screens, watching more of your content and all of that. Of course, you want them to do all the things, but the things to prioritize is I got to get people clicking, and I got to get as many people as possible to the very end of my video. And out of those people that made it to the end, I need to get as many of those people as possible to click on one of my end screens in order to go into another piece of content. Right? At the end of the day, that's the game. And then of course, your returning viewers is also really important. But when it comes to, subscribers, again, everybody wants subscribers, but at the end of the day, now how YouTube works these days is it's more important to get people watching more of your content than it is to get them to hit that subscribe button. Outside of the idea of being like, hey, I got subscribers, without, outside of being able to say that, and then of course unlock features. Let's see. We've got that. What I do when my subscribers goes up and down and up and down. This is from Ending Game. Same exact thing. Same exact thing applies. All this stuff that I just went through there for Lou, same exact thing applies to you. When the subscribers are going up and down, it's just, people are subscribing, people are unsubscribing. It's just like the nature of the thing. So just embrace that. But what you do want to do though, is when you do notice that people are unsubscribing at very high rates from certain types of content that I put out on the channel, you want to make sure that you are paying attention, that you are mindful of that, because that can let you know, like, hey, when I publish things like this, people love it and they subscribe and I gain subscribers. But when I publish things like this, people unsubscribe en masse. So because of that, I'm going to do less of these because I'm trying to grow my subscriber count right now so I can get, into the YouTube partner program. So because of that, I'm just going to focus on the stuff that's driving more subscribers so I can hurry up and get into the partner program. Let's see here. What reply of the live stream? I'm not sure what that means. Let's see here. Okay, looking for the cues. How do I put a timer into my pre-show? So one thing I recommend, if you're going to do like a countdown timer, I recommend you don't even use a countdown timer. And the reason for that is in some places it's fine. Like if you're on Facebook, fine. But when it comes to YouTube, a countdown timer will annihilate your replay value, because like when somebody clicks into your replay on your live stream, the last thing they want to be last thing they want to see is that they have to, wait 2 minutes or try to skip 2 minutes ahead and try to find that right point where you start the video. So if you do put a countdown timer in, make sure you cut it off after your stream is complete. But I would just avoid using a countdown timer at all. However, if you want to just have like a little graphic that pops up on the screen, like while you're doing other stuff or just while you're, having just like a pre-hangout or something like that, then in that case, you can download like a motion graphic off of like Envato Elements or maybe even Storyblocks. And you can use that as like an overlay. Inside of Streamyard right now at this moment in time, you can't use those type of graphical overlays, the video ones. But what you can do is you can use OBS as a virtual camera into Streamyard, and then you can drop those .mov files or even AVI files into OBS as long as they're transparent, and then you can still have those type of overlays happening there. There might even be they might even have some countdown plugins now that you can use with OBS as well. Let's see here. Does outside links, the We family says, does outside links in the YouTube video description, such as Facebook, Instagram, website, etc., hurt your channel with the YouTube algorithm since viewers are directed move off of YouTube? So this is a great question. So when it comes to putting links in your descriptions, it can hurt if you have tons and tons of people that are exiting your video from those descriptions. So for example, let's say that during this live stream, I was like, hey, everybody that clicks this link down in the description gets gets an Amazon gift card, right? Then everybody that came into the stream would be clicking that and leaving and going and filling out whatever they needed to do to get that Amazon gift card. So because of that, the amount of people that would be leaving, I would be ending all of those sessions, right? So the thing with those links is YouTube wants to keep people on platform. They want to keep sessions going as long as possible. Sessions are basically the amount of time people spend on YouTube. So what happens is when you have those links, anytime somebody leaves, it ends that session. So when you are putting links in your description, it's important to make sure that one, you're thinking of, okay, realistically, about how many people based on what it is I have in my description are going to go down there and are going to go in my description. So if you have like your Facebook links and Twitter links, social media stuff, things like that, not a big deal because there isn't any real incentive for people to go down into your description. So it's more of like a passive link. Only the people that are going to see it are going to be the people that are actually going and exploring to see what's in your video description. However, if you're doing it in a more active way, like let's say that you're making a review video and you're reviewing, a particular item of some kind, and you're like, hey, you can check this out, through the link in the description. Well, then in that case, there's going to be a higher percentage of people that are going and clicking off for that particular thing. So when that happens, then in that case, that can have a negative impact in the video. However, as long as the video itself is solid in terms of it's a good core piece of content, meaning that when people come into the video, they can still enjoy the video for a competitive amount of time. There's still a competitive amount of people completing the video that didn't go down to the description, things like that. Then it's totally fine. Because, you will have some drip in terms of, some people leaving or some leaks there from people leaving. But you're doing it for a reason if it was something like a review video, because then in that case, like you're kind of balancing the hit between like, okay, this video might not perform as well, maybe if enough people click on this link. However, if they do click on this link and they make a purchase, I'm going to make money. So then it's okay because I'm going to balance out that, that video performance loss, possibly if it happens. I'm going to balance that out with the other side of it, which means that I also get an initial gain from, whatever it is that they end up, purchasing or whatever through that. So it's just kind of balancing things out. And when it comes to your content strategy, you can also think about this as well. So for example, when you're putting your content strategy together, let's say you're planning out your content for the next 90 days. What you can do is you can say, okay, these videos, let's say you upload one video a week. You can say, okay, out of the month, I'm going to have 3 videos that keep people on platform. Out of those 3 videos that keep people on platform, I'm going to have 1 video that's going to be an affiliate video where I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive and try to push people down into the video description. Then in that particular case, that is 1 video per month that you're putting out for the purpose of driving sales, right? So what happens is you have those 3 videos that are made for the purpose of growing your channel, and then you have the 1 video that's there for the purpose of making money. And when it comes to your content strategy, that's ultimately what content strategy is you are giving a job to each individual piece of content that you're putting out. And then of course you're looking at the wider picture and you're seeing how those pieces of content are going to, complement each other or interlink to each other. Another thing you can do in that same exact scenario is let's say that you're going over that 3-month view again, then what you can do is you can say, okay, I'm gonna be publishing 12 videos here. So what I can do is I'm going to have, out of those 12 videos, I'm gonna have 3 videos that are going to be heavy for driving people off platform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take any of the videos that are there for the purpose of bringing in viewers to the channel and growing the channel. I'm going to have some of those videos that are also in the end screens where I'm going to recommend that video that's going to be driving people off platform. So then you are winning because they're watching that video to the end, and then they click on your end screens to go to that video as long as it's relevant, to that affiliate video. And then once they go to that affiliate video, you're still getting that extra watch time there until they get to that part where you tell them the links in the description if they are interested in it, and then they go down and they click there. So then what's happening is people are watching multiple videos, which means that you're increasing the likelihood of YouTube recommending your content to them in the future. And the originating video is performing well because it's causing people to watch more content. And in addition to that, you have that one video, which I call it kind of like a sacrificial or a money video, to where you're driving the traffic intentionally from some of your other content to that video for the sake of spreading awareness about that particular affiliate item that then you can later make money on. So that's the approach that you want to take. And I just got the Andrews thing in the chat here. What's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Let's see here. Not really a question, but thanks for all the free advice. I changed the title of a video and had the most views from browse CTR of any video. High five and fist bump to you. Nice work. Nice work. Let's see here. How do you get background on your live streams? And because I see people do it on YouTube, background. If you mean like a background, like a graphic background or something like that, they do that with green screens. So if you want like a background, then that's just a green screen to where like the person is isolated and then they have all these graphics and stuff going on in the background, or just like whatever scenes they change. That's all done with green screen. Would StreamYard be good for streaming gaming content? Absolutely. Yeah, so when it comes to StreamYard, the only downside of StreamYard is if you are like a quality junkie when it comes to your game, because when it comes to gaming content, a lot of gamers will stream at 60 frames per second because that's what a lot of games are as well. So at StreamYard right now, they stream at 30 frames per second. So if you're like, hey, I need to match frame rate for frame rate here, then in that case, you might not want to use it. But what you can do is you can do a test stream and you can see the quality and just make sure everything's up to par in terms of, how it is that you want things to be. And you can just see if it's right for you or not. You can try it. You can try StreamYard for free. You just go to streamyard.com. How do you get background? Okay, we did that one already. Okay, we got Mario, the coolest YouTuber, saying I'm using StreamYard for my YouTube stream. That's cool. Absolutely cool YouTuber. How do I ring you on a mobile when you drop the link on an Android mobile? Yeah, I don't drop my phone number in here. Let's see here, looking for okay, how do I not lose subscribers? Okay, yeah, we got that one already. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Any idea if StreamYard will be able to connect to IG Live in the future? I know they're always looking to expand to different platforms. I don't know exactly what's in the books in terms of what they're working on behind the scenes, but I do know that they are constantly, trying to figure out ways to push into different platforms. So I'm not sure exactly when, but I think it's safe to say that, yeah, they're probably trying to figure it out, or they're probably trying to work it out because they can already stream to Facebook. So I'm sure it's just all API dependent on Instagram. Mr. Rich Math Coach says, Nick, I have a high school math coaching channel, but I want to produce content for a variety of classes. Should I create multiple channels for each class? I would, yeah. So like, for example, if you have like math, then like focus that entire channel on math. So then that way, people that are interested in math, as they start responding positively to your content, YouTube's going to detect that. And based on how the system works, they're going to find other people on the platform that are also searching for math related content, people that are watching math related content, and they're going to test your content against them to see if they respond well to it or not. So when you focus one channel on a topic like that, then what happens is, once people start responding to it well, then it makes it really easy for the system to start looking around and testing your content against other users that are using the platform like they are. One thing to always remember when it comes to YouTube is YouTube doesn't care about our videos. They don't care about the live streams. They don't care about our shorts. What they care about is the viewer and the viewer experience. So we plug into their system, we put our content out here and we leverage it, for our own purposes. But at the end of the day, what YouTube cares about is they care about their users, the people that are watching the content. That's what they care about most, and that's what they prioritize over everything. So because of that, when you are, putting a channel together, it's important to make sure that you're thinking of it through the lens of, okay, I'm making this YouTube channel, and what I'm going to do with this YouTube channel is I'm going to turn the entire channel. It's a channel, right? It's a channel. So I'm going to turn this entire channel into a resource for a certain type of viewer, to where, they come to this channel and they know they can get a certain type of content from this channel. Scully's House of Thrillers. What's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. But yeah, I would definitely split it out. So I would do like math over here. If you're going to do science, I would do a science channel over there. If you're going to do like a history channel, do history. Yeah, I would definitely separate them out. Hey, if I change my channel name, do I have to verify my account again? Yeah, if you have 100,000 subscribers, then you will lose your check mark until you resubmit for your check mark. So if you do not have 100,000 subscribers, then in that case, you can just change your channel name. It's not a big deal. But if you have that verified check mark, at the end of your channel name, then if you change your channel name, you're going to lose that check mark, and then you have to resubmit to get it back. Do you recommend starting off with a DSLR or a camcorder for streaming and editing content? My personal preference is a DSLR, and the reason for that is because you have lens options. So if you get a video camera or a normal camcorder, then you only have. I actually started out with that. I started out with just a regular video camera, and as soon as I got a DSLR, I instantly felt better about my content, and I instantly got more confident making my content. And it was because I was able to make it look the way that I wanted it to look. When it came to the camcorder itself, it worked. It got the job done. Everything looked good. It was nice and crisp and all of that. But in terms of my personal preference and the way that I wanted things to look, having a DSLR where I could swap the lenses out and get that exact look that I was looking for, DSLR all the way. Like when it comes to camcorder, they work, they're fine, but creatively, you just don't get the options that you get. That you don't get the options that you get with a camcorder with a DSLR. Let's see here. If I change my channel, okay, yeah, we got that one. Question, does numbers and special characters affect keyword SEO scores? I noticed that if I use an and symbol, it disappears when I click on explore. Example, and verse and. Thanks so much. So when it comes to SEO scores, the most important thing is your click-through rate and your average view duration. Because when it comes to YouTube search, what YouTube is trying to do is they're trying to get as much watch time per impression for each search query. So what that means is an impression is when YouTube shows your content to somebody anywhere on the platform. So in your case, specifically for this question, it would be in YouTube search. And then when it shows up in search, based on the impressions that they're giving, how often do people click on it compared to the other content in the search results? And then once they click on it, how often do they, or how much do they engage in your content? If yours is winning over all of the other ones in terms of click-through rate and average view duration and just overall engagement, then you will end up staying in those search results. However, if the other ones perform better and they get a better response, then in that case, yours is going to get pushed down and the ones that perform better are going to go higher. So when it comes to the words that you're using in your title, absolutely that can matter, and not special characters and stuff, but the actual words, because, exact match, phrases is a thing. So, when somebody searches for an exact keyword phrase and your video is optimized for that keyword phrase and people are responding well to that video, then you're kind of checking all of the boxes in terms of increasing the likelihood of your video showing up in YouTube search. However, if it's not clear and you don't have a title, you don't have keywords in it, things like that, it can still show up in search, but it's just a little bit more difficult to get really good search rankings if you don't have at least a keyword in there somewhere. But you can, but it's just a little bit more difficult, especially if you're getting started. But when it comes to like and symbols and things like that, it's totally fine. You just want to make sure that you're prioritizing your click-through rate and your average view duration. And as another tip for you as well, if you are targeting YouTube search, inside of your YouTube analytics, you have something called your traffic sources reports. So what you want to do is for the videos that you're trying to rank in YouTube search, you want to make sure that when you go into your click-through rate and your audience retention for those particular videos that you're trying to get to show up in search or that are showing up in search, instead of looking at your averaged out view of your click-through rate, instead go into the advanced mode of your YouTube analytics and then go into your traffic sources report. And then what your traffic sources report is going to show you is it's going to show you how people are responding to your content on home pages, the subscription feed, suggested videos, YouTube search, and so on. So what you want to do specifically, if you are targeting YouTube search, then you want to make sure that your click-through rate is acceptable for YouTube search, and you can compare what acceptable is compared to your other videos that do show up there. But you want to make sure that your click-through rate is good compared to the amount of impressions that you're getting. And you also want to make sure that your average view duration is solid from YouTube search specifically. And you want to make any changes to anything that you can, especially your thumbnail and title, if your click-through rate is low in YouTube search. So just make sure that you're using your traffic sources reports to identify how you're showing up on different surfaces and how people are responding on different surfaces. Same exact thing applies to like home pages. If you're like, hey, you know what, I'm nailing it in YouTube search. My click-through rate's extremely high. My average view duration is extremely high, but I'm getting no traffic at all from normal recommendations. Then what that typically means is that your thumbnails and titles just aren't capturing attention, and they're just not compelling from, home pages and suggested videos. Whereas when you hop onto YouTube search and you're looking for something, then you're intending like, hey, I'm trying to find this video. And therefore you're increasing the likelihood of somebody clicking on your stuff that way and actually finding it. But on a home page, it's a totally different game because you have to be able to grab somebody's attention that is not intending to watch your content. They came on YouTube to hang out in this live stream, or they came onto YouTube to watch, some entertainment content or to learn something else or get motivated or whatever. And your video is going to show up there. So what you have to do, if you find that your click-through rate and your average view duration, everything is low from home pages, then the very first thing that you have to start with is, of course, your click-through rate. So the very first thing to identify is like, hey, well, my stuff's showing up on home pages. Is it clear? Like, am I using imagery that helps people identify that this might be something that they're interested in? Is my title compelling? With my thumbnail and title, how they work together?
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
With my thumbnail and title, how they work together as a team to win the click. Like, what about this thumbnail would help somebody identify that it's something they care about? What about this thumbnail would entice somebody to possibly click? With my title, what about it would also help somebody, get more context about this video, and what exactly about my title is compelling enough that would get the target viewer that I'm trying to reach to click on this as well, right? So you want to make sure that you're defining those things. Let's see here. What sort of costs are the mentorship, please? So when it comes to Streamyard, they don't offer that. But when it comes to the mentorship thing, different people charge different things. I'm not even sure what Daniel charges for his. Okay, new to streaming, says Maria B. New to streaming, do I need a headset and mic? I have a Logitech 922 with a built-in mic for overhead recording. Yes. I recommend that you get a microphone. So it doesn't have to be a headset, but it can. But I do recommend that you get a microphone so that it can be close to you, because the webcam microphones will get the job done, but it's usually very low quality audio. So because of that, absolutely, if you can, I would definitely get a microphone that you can either have, like a lapel mic that you can put here, or some type of microphone like this that you can have out of the shot, or maybe a shotgun microphone, or a headset, a headset with a microphone attached to it. That's fine too. But the goal is to get the microphone close to you to ensure that people can clearly hear everything it is that you're saying. Traveling Man Las Vegas says, how do channels upload the same video hundreds of times, which violates YouTube to their channel and get vastly different results? I don't get it. So if it's the same, if it's literally the same exact video hundreds of times, and that definitely violates YouTube's, that'll catch up to them. So like, even if they're doing that right now, trying to game the system, it'll catch up to them. It's just a matter of time. But like right now, they're just flying under the radar, no big deal. But when it comes to, getting vastly different results, what can happen is, of course, if it's the same video and same thumbnail and title, then in that case, it just happens to be the audience that's seeing it at that point in time. So when they publish it, in the daytime, then, it's going to go in front of a certain audience than if they publish it 3 hours later, right? In terms of the initial people that are going to see it to give it the initial velocity. Other things that can happen too is external traffic. Maybe they're doing that for the sake of trying to pull in Google traffic, not necessarily YouTube traffic. So maybe they're targeting like Google search for some of that for what it is that they're doing. And because of that, when they're bulk uploading like that, some of it might be getting picked up by Google as well, which could also be causing, some of the videos to perform better. Can you live stream on StreamYard through a GoPro Hero 10, please? Absolutely. While fishing, for example, yes. But while you're fishing, I would definitely be careful keeping like a laptop or something like that. You can do it on your phone too. You can access StreamYard through your phone. But I would just be careful in terms of like lenses and, like that type of thing, for the sake of, just in case the boat tips over. All right, so that concludes our stream today. Again, I encourage you to try StreamYard out if you have not yet. I hope that you got some type of value out of the conversation today. I hope you learned a little bit of something here during the stream today. And I live stream. I do this sort of thing on my YouTube channel every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I got a link to my channel down in the description below. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Nick. I help people grow their YouTube channels and learn all aspects about YouTube. So you can find my channel link down in the description below. But I encourage you again, if you haven't tried StreamYard yet, give it a shot. Make sure you like this video on the way out. It's kind of like a little feedback mechanism that I use just to ensure that, you got some value out of the stream. So even if you're just chilling, I encourage you to, just like this video on your way out. And besides that, I live stream here the last Tuesday of every month. So, if you want more live streaming content as it relates to YouTube specifically, this one was a Q&A, but normally I come in here and I do actual, like training type of content. So if you are into this and you want more, content like this as it relates to YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the StreamYard channel here and come and hang out, at the end of next month, at that last Tuesday next month. So thank you everybody so much for hanging out. Have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you next time.